Here we are with another Total Materia webinar, and thank you for joining us today. I see a lot of our corporate users, company attendees here with us today, and it is awesome to see a lot of our users here interested to see and hear more about Total Materia because we have a lot of different solutions for different challenges that you have. Total Materia is online last 25 years, so updating and upgrading every month. And this is Zaim. I am the territory manager of Turkey and Middle East and so on. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask and contact with me. And I would like to answer your questions and find a way to solve your challenges. Total Materia, we know your challenges. We have a lot of solution to solve your problems. Actually, every product starts with material, so that we have a lot of industry leaders to small companies, users worldwide, over 100 countries and almost all around the world. We have a lot of users, but we are providing only reliable digitalized data, the data that you can find inside all Materia, always with the reference, and you make sure that these are accurate and reliable data. You can manage your internal materials information. We have enterprise integration tools. Still, I don't know if you know that, but you can use all Materia cards with your simulation uh, softwares, over 28 different formats that we are providing directly. You can export your material cards with your simulation softwares, and we have PLM and ERP integration tool such as integrator, and platform connectivity is important. AI era that we have an AI tool, and we have a new version of Predictor. I would like to introduce you Predictor very soon. And compliance and sustainability, carbon footprint, finding the greener material is also very important, right? Changing the process of material selection. It is starting with material selection with material engineers and simulation process. Of course, it needs to be combined, and this engineering departments can talk to each other about the same material. You can share the material list with your simulation department, and they can use this material cards ready to go, ready to use with their simulation softwares. I think answers to Abacus and Siemens NX2, SolidWorks, and so many different simulation. As I told you earlier, 28 different formats, including Excel and HTML format too. So quality, reverse engineering for checking. This is very critical, maybe because we have a tool named SmartComp. If you don't have the access to SmartComp, you can always ask for access. With SmartComp, you can define the material with its chemical composition. Also, for the quality check, you will be able to type your material that you desire to purchase. And when material comes to your facility for production, you can double check the chemical composition. You will be able to see if it's the right quality material or not. And supply chain, finding the global equivalents, and carbon footprint, finding greener materials, and compliance, following the new regulations. It needs to be up to date. We have our Green Line team is following up for you, and we always providing you up to date and reliable information. It's not only important to be suitable for the task at the right price, but also, do you think you can sell, deliver the good quality? And it is very much related with your brand quality, right? So that we have a lot of different solution horizon, which most of you guys have access, and some of our integrator users here with us today. That's good to hear you. I know integrator is basically your own internal database, very similar with to Horizon interface, and we have AI tools predictor. If you don't have access yet, you will love it. And green line. It's all about green material, life cycle assessment, BOM assessment, or carbon footprint. Departments and people we have. I know so many of you guys have access to Total Materia. You're using Total Materia, but I don't know if you know about material engineers and compliance and sustainability engineers needs to communicate to each other because production line, production circle, you choose a material suitable for the task is perfect, but is it compliant? You need to check from the beginning of this process to make sure that you are going with the right material selection, and this is the material that you can use for your product. And the quality, double check is always good. You better check your product quality uh, when you purchase a metal or any polymers. We have a lot of information inside the material, over 500,000 of material. So make sure that these materials are actually produced accurately and according to standards, the way it's supposed to be. Supply chain, you always have alternative materials, equivalent materials, a lot of different supplier or producers information that can give you a lot of ability to find and search material for purchasing. And sales and application engineer have to know a lot of technical details about their materials and their products, right? So this is also very important use case scenarios for different engineering department. Still, it's starting with material engineer. If it's compliant, send them the material list. Let them make the accurate simulation results. When you're making design, you're just using the material cards. You can export from Total Materia, and your simulation result will be more accurate than before. All this communication within different engineering departments is very important for you to make accurate and very efficient workflow, right? So these are some of our users. You know, in our new web page, we have customers and we have customer stories part. You will be able to click and to see the Materia customers. We have a lot of happy customers here. You can discover success stories from our clients, Carher, Piaggio, Emac, Zen, Bonfolio, some of them, and Soccer, AES, Gaston, and more is coming. And if you would like to share your customer story, please feel free to contact us. And Soccer, one of those where there is no space for mistake. Yes, in the oil and gas industry, right? You need to make sure that you're choosing the right material. You need to make sure that you're planning maintenance operation accurately. You need a lot of material information, right? So you need accurate material information because you are putting your signature on it. So in case if any mistake can cause a huge catastrophe, so better make sure and check 2 times. And Soccer is very happy, as Shell and so many oil and gas industry companies too. So, material selection is a little complex normally. Yes, you should check at least cost and availability, mechanical and physical properties, fabricability, but corrosion and resistance. This is also important and it is informing a lot, but it's not that easy actually. It's a little bit more complicated. You need to make more tests and research about the material. You need a tool to understand the material's behavior in elevated temperature and minus temperature, which material is more durable in this circumstances. And still, for material selection, you need to check the standards, equivalence of the standards, the numbers, and the maintainability, a lot of different details, and you have very complex design maybe, but basically, if this material you choose, it's fine. But what about the different heat treated forms of this material? Different forms of this material is giving you different physical and mechanical properties. Well, welding information is important. Chemical composition and alloying elements, heat treatment information, and matrix structure and grain size. All right, so you need some stress strain, fatigue, creep, so many information, right? And each individual small parts are important in this case. And so many details. If it's hard enough, it's durable enough. You need so much more information, elevated temperature, and different forms, different thicknesses of the material, right? These are all makes huge difference. Let's say you choose a steel, and what about what steel, what grade, and what thicknesses, what form, what heat treated steel we are talking about, right? You'll be able to find all these details to eliminate the not good candidates, but finding the best material can be in your design. So these are actually briefly, let's say, some of our users, industry leaders, but don't get wrong. We have small companies that are using Total Materia too with a single user license, with a network S license, small licenses, but some of them, as you are here, some of you guys are in some of these corporate licenses. I know, but in Total Materia, you can always get free technical support and free of charge training. Anytime you want, you will be able to ask, okay, you show us total material, but there are some things that it's not including our license. Can you show us more detailed? Or, okay, I have an access, but I'm using my friend's credentials. No, don't do that. Each individual user can create a user access for themselves with your email domain and with your password. You will be able to log into Total Materia from anywhere you want. At the same time, we have network S for 10 users, network M for 25, network L for 50 users, or some of you guys are here with the corporate licenses. Some of you guys are using also integrator, and always you can contact us for support. It's free of charge. Don't worry. So, as you know, automotive companies, machinery, general engineering, energy and utilities, metal producers are here too, inspection and analysis, and aerospace, and institutes and academia, and diversified and integrated users. Some of them, some of them are using Horizon, and some of them are using integrator with Horizon because integrator comes with a full version of with Horizon. Additionally, you can test and add into your license predictor and green light too. I will start with Horizon. Horizon is core of our DNA, where you can find material selection options, material identifications with SmartCom, and global equivalence. Yeah, I will show you the details. Global equivalence meaning that like really global equivalents, and sharing and exporting this information, advanced properties like stress strain and fatigue and so much more, and reference data. Definitely you will make sure that you are actually accessing with the accurate reference data. So we have over 500,000 of material in October update. Actually it becomes 571,000 some materials right now, seriously. It is the comprehensive data on mechanical and physical properties and 80 plus global standards and their equivalences, 83 right now, and precision tools for comparison and analytics, thus streamlining the selection process. Stress strain, formability, fatigue, creep, and fracture mechanics data, you will be able to export the over 25, right now it's 28 simulation formats, so that you can import this material card into your simulation for more accurate simulation results. This is how it looks. So many of you guys knows actually, and These are some data modules individually you can use: quick search, advanced search, standard list, and material discovery. And quick search for the searching material with the designation, advanced search for the searching material with mechanical physical properties. You can type of the material, material group search, standard search, or directly producers search. Here is an example, 304. We all know this material in AEC standards that we choose. You will be able to see the pricing, and right hand side, all these data are belongs to this material. You can have elevated minus temperature range, and strain curves, different, and joints information, chemical composition, and mechanical properties of the joint, SN curves. These are very, very important, and isochronic stress strain and allowable stress curves, isocorrosion tests to understand this material, how long it's going to be durable in that place. So in detailed view, you will be able to see all the references: an elevated temperature, minus temperature, what heat treated forms of this material we are talking about, what form of this material we are talking about: bar or fittings or flat bars or castings or plates or tubings, wires. They all are going to give you the different properties, right? Dimensions also. Different, two different thickness wires. Of course, it will give you different mechanical and different physical properties, obviously. Tensile strength and the graphs. You can add this with graphic comparison with different materials or same materials, different forms, graphs, and export to CAX with one click. All you need to choose your solver on the list, right? These are some of these examples. Right now, we choose the ANSYS and Hall properties, or one by one, what properties you want to export, you can choose. And next step, carefully choose what form, what standard, what information that you're looking for, and then click the export, and IC-zip is ready for importing to your simulation. Cross-reference, which is most used uh, options in Total Materia, you can be able to find official, identical chemical composition similarity of this material, or just GB standard equivalence I'm looking for. With one click, you will be able to see and compare these two materials side by side. You can save this file as an PDF. You can send it to your producers. You can say that, all right, you know what, I find this one as an equivalence, cross-reference of this material. I can create the material list alternatives, and which one of those are more accurate for the design. Just let me know. I will use one of these materials as an alternative, right? For my location, it's easy to reach this material. So advanced search is for advanced engineers, where you can still filter some material groups. Let's say ferrous alloys I'm looking for, mechanical properties that I'm looking for, yield strength, tensile strength value. I'm adding like minimum values to see if this material will be strong enough for the design to be durable. Let's load the previous search. Here's an example. I want a Chinese GB standard material. I want a structural and constructional steel yield strength value that I want to see minimum 300, tensile strength value that I want to see minimum 500 and more, and impact strength 40 joule, and modulus of elasticity in 190. So I'm looking for some material. We had 500 thousands of options. Now we have only 19 material can give me. And then on GB standards, with this durability, with this resistance, these are the stronger materials. But still, I can compare this material. Which one of those material have the highest tensile or yield strength, or which one of those material have stress strain curves, fatigue, and so many information. Which one of these material have more supplier information, let's say, for me to find and purchase for the design. I can compare this material side by side or up and down, and then still filtering these options to see which one of those material are more accurate for me in radar chart, up to 5 different uh, properties you can compare in analytics screen. You understand this material's behavior better when you compare all these materials, and also you need to check if these materials are compliant according to different regulations, right? So these are all challenges. We have an answer for these challenges. What about smart comp for quality or reverse engineering tool? All you need to add the chemical composition, and Total Materia will tell you what material is this in seconds, which we have a lot of OEM agreement with so many world well-known spectrometer producers. We are providing over 83 standards organization from all around the world. Whatever they say, this is the material, you will be able to find the equivalence on your location, and you will be able to translate this designation and to your language. Thousands of producer data sheets combined with 83 national standards. So we have everything. All you need to contact us and ask if you could find everything you're looking for or not. Integrator is another world. Once you don't need all this 500,000 of material, but in production you're using some of these materials. Either you can copy this material from the Materia, or you can create a new material cards, right? Integrator is totally special for your company. Seamless connection with all this material informations from Total Materia. You can manage users and deliver accurate data for their profile, which engineer or which user to see what material or what material properties in the same time. You can connect your materials to global equivalence to maintain selection consistency, approval and release workflow, maintain control and integrity, and integrate with simulations, CAD, finite element analysis, and PLM, ERP, and other business tools. And this will give you very fast and easy workflow to purchase this material to production to become a product, right? So flexible implementation to access the RESTful API. Security is our DNA, really. Integrator combined with Horizon, reference data, global alternatives, material selection, identification, joints and weldings, information, substances and compliance, creating reports and sharing links, fatigue, corrosion data, export to simulations. These all options are coming with Integrator. Then you're filtering these materials. You can create your approved material list, user management, and user data security policies, your substances compliance info. You can add your test data. Once you create a material card, you can just generate this test data. You can add your own materials behaviors, test results into your material cards, so that with this, creating special material cards only will be visible for you and for your engineers. You can combine with PLM, simulation, API integration, and on-site, on-cloud options. We have all 9 and offline options, a BOM assessment still, and legacy data and simulation informations. All this research history and memory of your company is secure with Integrator. This is actually simply, briefly, how it is working. You have a material laboratory, procurement can talk to each other, and Total Materia MLM, which is Material Lifecycle Management. You can use this material cards with the design, simulation, engineering software, PLM system, in the whole this digital world become real, really suitable for the real manufacturing world. You can share some information with supply chain. Most probably some of our integrator users are sharing some information with you guys, and service life and hardware. All this information become real. General users, power users, and system admins can set all this settings. This is how it looks like. Actually, exactly same like Total Materia with one difference. You can either choose your own materials, which means integrator, material lifecycle management tools, or some users still can access the Total Materia to find the equivalents, find the better options, alternatives for this material. And here we go. Let's do an example. We're searching Conal 718, high performance nickel alloy, right? So you can click and see the chemical composition, mechanical, physical properties, heat treatment information, metallography, documents. Like if you're doing some special processes, this is the place where you can add your documents and any documents you're adding, who added, when added, every information you will be able to see and complies in general information. As you can see, this user don't have an access to extended range. If you want to have an access, if you're a simulation engineer, of course, you need stress strain diagrams too. So you'll be able to access this material. At the same time, when you have a lot of information, filtered information about this material, because we have three conditions, as you can see, for mechanical properties, and then we have only 21 different mechanical properties for this material. But in general, if you check same time your material and Total Materia, you will be able to see some standards and propriety for some producers in Cornell. You see, and when you click, we have 600 mechanical properties for different forms, different heat treated 718, and a lot more information. If you are looking for suppliers, you can just type and check this information, add into your material library. Here is the creator. Here's where you can copy the material from the material, or you can create a new material, right? New material cards, you just name it. Data maintenance to see. You can add material groups, properties, parameters, suppliers, or reference data. Still, you all these material cards are editable, and bulk export option will give you opportunity to export all these material cards into your PLM system or simulation softwares. This is how it works. This is how basically integrators look like. And if you need more information, if you need any technical support, please do not hesitate to contact us. And here is my favorite part, AI tool Predictor. Predictor is something beyond imagination, filling the gaps, predicting material properties, which Total Materia is providing only accurate and reference data, but still, some of you guys needs more information about this material. Do not go anywhere else with Ask Predictor. Property predictions, predict from compositions, confidence indicators, and you can share these results and save. So this is how it works. Predictor can give you right now a lot of mechanical and physical properties, including stress strain curves, fatigue data points, and single and multi-point predictions from 160 ml models across 300,000 of materials. You can predict 20 plus different properties, predict properties and behaviors from chemical composition if you're casting or some other operation. And it is using complex calculation methods. Of course, we do have more than 500,000 of reference data, right? So accurate calculations still to be more and more accurate and precise. We are using designation composition, selecting models, define parameters, temperature dependency, and result with the confidence. Here's a question. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys, but can we download the integrator file showing comparison and different materials? Well, of course, By the way, I'm recording this session. I will share with you the recordings. Don't worry. Here's the metallic materials. Any composition that you can type here, you will be able to predict the materials behaviors, mechanical physical properties, and non-metallic materials are the same with the reference material. And here's how it works. Basically, you can choose ferrous alloys, aluminum, and different alloys. Either you can type the chemical composition or designation of your reference material and just make the property predictions. You can fill the gaps. So many of these material properties are not provided by standards or producer's data sheet, but you need to understand this material. Everything starts with material, every production and every product core is the material. So you can set additional model inputs. This is testing simulator. Basically, instead of wasting a lot of hours, days, sometimes months to make this test and a lot of money, predictions are here. Right now, we can predict Brinell hardness, Rockwell hardness, tensile strength, yield strength, density, heat capacity, modulus of elasticity, shear modulus, thermal conductivity, thermal expansion, and volume resistivity, including fatigue strength and stress strain curves. This is how it looks like. This is how it works basically. This is the Predictor 2.0 second version. It's updating, it's upgrading. We have a reference data here. We choose the material that we want to fill the missing properties. We need yield strength of this material. Of course, we do have yield strength, temperature dependent yield strength of this material, but here is the difference. We need to choose the forms and dimensions and the thicknesses of this material and what heat treated. We have this material properties with this form for a lot of heat treated 7 to 7 to 5, but not T8. T81 minus 200 between 300 degrees centigrade. And here is the fully applicable curves of this material. Still, you have confidence interval. You can ask, make it a little bit wider to make sure. And here are the results. You can add the diagram comparison. You can repeat this structure. And here is the comparison of this material in different heat treated 7 to 75 AA. It's giving you different behaviors, yield strength, temperature graphs. You can compare to understand which one of these materials are more suitable. This is the T8, actually the blue one. As you can see, it is way much better than T73 or 3 T7351 heat treated, same material, but yield strength values are better, right? So this is an option for you to understand material behaviors better, to choose the most suitable one, and even heat treatment is makes the difference. So we are last 25 years online. We are specialized in material. Of course, we are here to help you support your material research activities. And here is our green line module. If you don't have access, don't worry. We can additionally set a meeting and give you a test access for green line for you to understand compliance assessment, compliant equivalence, restricted substances, BOM assessment, LCA and carbon footprint calculations, and sustainable material selection. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you green line. Primary source of data is coming from Ecoinvent, which I believe all of you guys knows, and accessing over 300 updated global regulations covering REACH rows as well as regional, federal, and state inventories, biocompatibility, food contact, and industry regulations. end-of-life vehicles, and so on. Assess compliance of materials simultaneously against multiple different regulations at the same time, and BOM assessment and substances, material, and parts. Assess life cycle assessment with 40 different indicators, and accurate carbon footprint assessment with defined parameters. You will be able to find the sustainable, compliant alternatives, and we are helping you to find a greener material. Of course, metallic and non-metallic materials. These are the examples where you can add different regulations and up to 5 different regulations at the same time, but over 300 regulations that we have for you to check. Raw material extraction, manufacturing process, transportation information, and usage and end of life. We are helping engineers finding greener alternatives, calculating carbon footprint, so on metallic materials, non-metallic materials. We can calculate. Here's the carbon footprint, how it works. Briefly for you, you can add manufacturing, where it's manufactured, manufactured route, recycled content, right? These are all affected to your carbon footprint. Processing information, very important and critical. Transport, and then truck is bringing to your production facility in 500 kilometers more. And here is the calculations. Ta-da! See, 14301 is a little greener, isn't it? Manufacturing process makes it so not green. Transporting, how it's affect. You will be able to see all this indicators, how it's affect your carbon footprint. You can find a cross-reference of this material, official composition, other sources, check another standards equivalence, right? Because it is coming from the long way. You can choose this one, add it to your carbon footprint. And right now, you will be able to type all this information and recalculate your carbon footprint to see which one of these materials are affecting more. You can save this. Very important not to repeat these processes, right? Here's your material console where you can find saved carbon footprints information. Here we go with the date, and you can reload, you can overwrite, and you can make more and more calculations as much as you add some new materials. This is carbon footprint. Compliance Assessor is also another tool which is helping you. 145, 4301 and EN standards that I'm looking for. This is how you can calculate. Adding to material list builder, and here's your material lists. But add the compliance assessor. All right, I want to see if these materials are compliant for REACH and ROSE and GADSL and conflict materials. Let's assess to see, it's not compliant, and REACH 10722, it's not compliant. Oops, we need to find a cross-reference of this material. That's not compliant, right? So let's check the compliant. Let's check the cross-reference of this material. Rest of the materials are seems compliant. Remember, these are all up-to-date compliance information for you to make sure that you're making right material selections. Here we go. Find another one to find compliant for all these regulations. Oh, here we go. Here's our candidate, which is compliant for all. Here's the problem. Compliant for all these regulations. Ta-da! Easy it is, isn't it? Please share this information with your compliant team, sustainability team to understand how it works and how it can help you. Here's another tool, which is bill of materials, because so many of our users are using thousands of materials in the same time. One by one will be very hard for you to check if they are compliant or not. But once you export your download the template, you fill with your materials information here, the name of you. When you create this file, use your template. All you need to fill the material information here and upload and import inside new BOM bill of material, and to check if your materials are all these materials are compliant according to different regulations, right? In the same time, up to 5 regulations, and you still have huge amount of regulation materials, regulation lists. Of course, it's accepted all this because our primary source is equipment, as you remember, and these are not our estimations or some informations that we collect, but directly from the regulatories are announcing all this information, what materials are compliant according to these regulations. And of course, you can use this information as a reference and up-to-date information. Double check is always good, but Total Materia makes your life easier, obviously, because as regulations are announcing, these materials were compliant, but not anymore. We are adding this information in every month inside Total Materia. So you always have chance to find up-to-date and accurate information inside Total Materia. So that remember the slide that I show you, actually the world industry leaders from our users list. So many of them are automotive leads, right? Which we all know, Daimler, Renault, uh, Stellantis, so many companies. Yes, they're using up-to-date information to make sure all these bombs, like for one particular car, you're using 10,000 to 30,000 different materials. So it will be very hard for you to get compliance information for each individual material you're generating here. To see up-to-date information is this material list. Some of those materials are not compliant, maybe. You need to understand why they're not compliant and what actually uh, standard materials are. Very important for you to select carefully materials which they're compliant and actually uh, good to use for your design, right? Not only mechanical, physical properties and fatigue information is enough, but Let's see if these are compliant or not, right? If you would like to test to see how it works, please feel free to contact me because right after the webinar that I will send you the recordings and I will share you my calendar link. If you would like to test these solutions as well, feel free to contact us. Bill of material and life cycle assessment tool that we have. This is also helping you to understand for the first stage what is affecting your carbon footprint the most. We have a lot of indicators: ecosystem health, human health, natural resources, and energy demand to climate change. Different midpoint indicators that you can set and make a calculation to understand how your materials are affecting to your carbon footprint. Life cycle assessment. You can select any indicators you want for calculations. You can select all those 5 calculations, indicators, or some of them. Human health, ecosystem, and resources. These are the material list, and make the calculations according to different indicators. You can make changes and set the full material list accurately and pin one of those materials to see which one of those materials are greener than them or not greener than them. It's affecting your carbon footprint and it's harmful for human health. For instance, you see, you can save this benchmarking and to check if you can make greener production. This is the future. Do not hesitate to contact us. Well, these are our solutions. I know you have Horizon access, but Total Materia is more than that. Some of you guys have integrator access, and still you can test predictor for material improvement or to understand the missing uh, properties of this material's behaviors. And green line is all about the green material selection. Contact us. Let's understand your specific requirements and all challenges. Explore our solutions, them all in greater detail, and understand the value by testing in a real world scenario. Analyze the results and ensure the solutions meet your objectives. Roll out and onboarding for your organization. Please contact us and book a demo and feel free to ask for technical support and training anytime you want. I hope it will be very, very useful for you guys. I see that you're our users. And if you have any question, please do not hesitate to contact us. If you don't, actually, I do have questions for you. And I have a poll to lunch. And would you like to test the full version? If you don't have an access, please let me know. And if you have access but you're using some other credentials, if you want to know how to log in to all material license access that you have, or would you like to just test again Total Materia, please feel free to contact us. I'm gonna give you 15 seconds more. If I'll appreciate it if you answer. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Anyway, you can contact me, right? All right, thank you. Thank you. And which solutions? Please tell me which solution is very interesting for you. Well, of course, green line and predictor and horizon and integrator as well. I know I know some of you are our integrator users. Anyway, anytime. Remember, you can ask free of charge technical support if you're challenging to find some information in Total Materia with free of charge trainings anytime you want, as much as you want. And of course, we would like to introduce you the other solutions which is not maybe including in your uh, license. Still, you can test for free and you can just examine real life scenarios to see if Total Materia is helping you as we are helping all this industry leaders in the world. And here's my contact information. I will send you the recordings, and this is my mobile number. Even if you're using WhatsApp, feel free to contact me anytime you want. And Zaim is here, and I would love to help you, please. Thank you for your answers. Okay, I will send you the recordings, and let's see you in a private meeting or next webinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.